What's up, everybody? Welcome to Townsend 505. This is Nick speaking to you here in the basement of Pennsylvania, as something that Jason would say. Today, I'm going to be doing a discography versus discography of a band that I've been wanting to do this for a while. Currently on two series right now with both bands. One with me, Jacob, and Scott, and then on the Kinks end, me and Jason are going through each of the Kinks albums. So feels fitting to do this now. I'm going to be doing the UK albums because that's going to be easier because I'm more familiar with the UK Kinks albums and I'm familiar with the UK Rolling Stones albums as well. So let's get right into it. So, first battle, Kinks debut album versus the Rolling Stones. Kinks versus the Rolling Stones album. Kinks versus the Rolling Stones. So both self-titled here. So both of them are heavily covered. There's a lot of covers, especially the Rolling Stones, and there's like 11 covers and one original. Just tell me. But the Kinks album has a little bit more originals, which definitely gives it the edge. As really, you really got me. So Mystifying, Stop Your Sobbing. That's like easily. It's an easy choice. I'm gonna go with the Kinks on that one. I think the Kinks debut album's a lot better than the Rolling Stones debut album because I feel like with the Kinks debut album, there's not nearly as many covers, which gives it the upper hand. So next battle, we go kind of Kinks versus Rolling Stones 2. Rolling Stones number 2. Rolling Stones 2. I like that album. It's a good album. I don't find anything wrong with it. It's an enjoyable album throughout. I think it's good. I think I gave it a nice score when I originally when I was going through the discography. I really like Everybody Needs Somebody to Love, the long version. It's pretty good. I really like Down Home Girl. Time Is on My Side, the single version, pretty good. Or the album version, I should say. The single version is the one that's used on 12 by 5. Growing Up Wrong is really cool. I really like their version of Under the Boardwalk. I know Jacob would disagree with me on that. Overall, really good album. Now, thinking about the Kinks album now, kind of Kinks. They're going with a little bit more originals. Their originals are starting to get really good now. Their covers, I could do without Nagging Woman. Dancing in the Street's okay. But some of their amazing originals, like I really like their original Something Better Be Beginning. I really like Come On Now. That's a great song. I just really like the vibe of this album too. It's like the first album was more blues rock. This is like blues rock, but there's a little bit more R&B. Like it's more of a soul R&B record mixed with a little bit of their rock. I really like their Tired of Waiting for You. That's a great song. Wonder Where My Baby Is Tonight. Overall, really good second album. Both improved from their first album, which is good. But if I had to pick one, though, I'm going to go with Kinks on that one. I'm going to go with the Kinks. Gig Controversy versus Out of Our Heads. So yet again, this is the UK version we're talking about. So no Satisfaction, no Play with Fire, no Last Time. So to be honest, for those reasons, I'm going to go with the King Controversy because I don't think there's as many standout tracks on the UK version as there is the US one with all those great songs on it. I'm not saying the hit songs are required for it, but I feel like the hit songs were great to be on there. I don't know. Okay, so right now the Kinks are beating the Stones right now, 3-0. Who knows how this is going to turn out? Face to Face versus Aftermath. So now both bands are going into 1966. Both really strong both really strong songs. Both albums have originals. It's the first album where both bands have all original material in both 1966. both have 14 tracks on it. So this is, it's about which songs I like better. So Face to Face, I really like Party Line, Dandy, Session Man, Holiday in Milwaukee, Fancy, You're Looking Fine, Sunny Afternoon, I'll Remember. Great songs, if you ask me. But on Aftermath, there's also great songs on that album too. Mother's a Little Helper, Stupid Girl, Under My Thumb, Going Home, High and Dry, Out of Time, Take It or Leave It, Think, What to Do. I'm going to go with the Stones on this one because it's longer. Even though it's longer, I feel like I'm getting a more complete listen on this one for me. Okay, now we get to Something Else by the Kinks versus Between the Buttons. Both really good albums. So, Face to Face, not Face to Face. Something Else is amazing. It has Death of a Clown, Love Me Till the Sun Shines. Great Dave Davies tracks that I just mentioned. Of course, Ray Davies is really stepping it up yet again. Really like David Watts. Waterloo Sunset is epic, as you music fans know. Really like Tin Soldier Man. But Between the Buttons, this is a great underrated album, pop album, I would say. Really like Yesterday's Papers, Backstreet Girl. It's amazing. I really like Miss Amanda Jones. It's just a mind full of great songs. I really Connection, Complicated. I even really like the last track, Something Happened to Me Yesterday. This is a really hard choice because both have their ups, both have no downs, really. It's just all killer, no filler on each of these albums. I'm gonna go with the Kinks on this one, actually. I know, it's crazy. I slightly prefer the Kinks version. It is just a tiny bit more. Okay, the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society versus Their Satanic Majesty's Request. Yeah, this is an easy one. I love Satanic Majesty's Request. I find to be, I never, I know everyone likes to jump down its throat for being the ripoff Sgt. Pepper's, but I never find anything wrong with it. I've always found myself loving the album. However, Village Green is like my second favorite album of all time. It's like no competition at all. It's easy. It's easy choice for me. Very easy. Arthur versus Beggar's Banquet. So now this is going to be a tough choice. Now this is tough because Arthur is amazing. It is a great album full of great underrated tracks. Beggar's Banquet is kind of the same. If you look outside Sympathy for the Devil and Street Fighting Man, this is an album full of amazing deep cuts. So you have an album that has all deep cuts, which is Arthur, and then you have an album with mostly deep cuts, which is Beggar's Banquet. And I don't know, it's going to be tricky. Both start off strong. I really like Victoria off Arthur, and I really like Sympathy for the Devil off Beggar's Banquet. Both close out strong with Arthur, the title track, and Beggar's Banquet, Salt of the Earth. So, and everything in between each of the albums, it's just like great song after great song. To be honest, this really goes down to my least favorite track on the album versus my least favorite track on Beggars. I will say, even though I'm liking it now, the track that's gonna decide it is from Beggar's Banquet, which is Dear Doctor. That's my least favorite song on that album. My least favorite song on Arthur, on the other hand, is an amazing track that doesn't belong to be my least favorite, but through process of elimination has to be my least favorite. That's Young and Innocent Days, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna rather listen to Young and Innocent Days over Dear Doctor. So just by that only, it's not. It's the only way I was able to decide this. I'm going to go with the Kinks on that one. With the Kinks. Now we get another really hard choice. Lola versus Let It Bleed. Lola versus Let It Bleed. Oh my goodness. This is another tricky choice because Let It Bleed is currently my favorite Stones album. It's my favorite, all-time favorite Stones album. It was Aftermath, but now it's Let It Bleed. Lola is not my favorite Kinks album. It is not. However, it's epic. I really like Lola. Lola is this epic rock album that has a story about the music industry, and I think they play the story really well. I don't think the story gets in the way. I think the music is amazing. The reason why I'm saying that is because there's a few albums later that contradicts that, but Contenders is awesome. I like Strangers. Strangers is an amazing Dave Davies song track. Denmark Street is really good. I really like Get Back in Line. Lola, it's my least favorite song on the album. Not gonna lie. Top of the Pops is epic. Really like Money Go Round. This Time Tomorrow is good. I like A Long Way From Home. Just not one of my favorites. Rats is amazing. 8 Man is epic. Power Man is amazing, and Gotta Be Free is a great closer. Now go on to Let It Bleed. Give Me Shelter. So I like the Contenders, but man, Give Me Shelter is a much stronger opener. Love in Vain is another great song. Country Honk. I much prefer the Honky Tonk Woman, but I think it works better on this album, Country Honk. Love in Vain, one of their signature rock songs. Let It Bleed, surprisingly an amazing song for me. I don't get why a lot of people don't really like it that much. I find it to be one of their best songs. Midnight Rambler. Come on. Midnight Rambler. That song is epic. I know everyone prefers the live version, but even the studio version's epic in its own unique way. You Got the Silver. Come on. You Got the Silver. That's epic. Monkey Man. So there's Monkey Man and then there's 8 Man. Which one do I prefer? I'm going to go with Monkey Man. Monkey Man is just that much. It's just more epic. And then you can't always get you what you want, which is another great song. It's another case where I prefer this closer to the Kinks closer. For me, no competition, really. Even though Lola is one of my favorite Kinks albums, it's no competition. I'm going with Let It Bleed. I'm going with Let It Bleed. Yeah, I'm going with the Stones. Got their second point. Now for the next battle, Percy versus Sticky Fingers. Battle couldn't be any more easier. I'm going with Sticky Fingers. Percy is just a soundtrack album. If the Rolling Stones had 23 albums, only if Hackney Diamonds wasn't a thing, I wouldn't include Percy, to be honest. But yeah, Percy's just there. So yeah. Muswell Hillbillies versus Exile on Main Street. Now we get into another epic battle. So we got this amazing country album from the Kinks. And then we have Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones, which is this epic double album, which took all the qualities of their early albums, but they amplified that to a million. Which one do I prefer, though? Really like the title track of Muswell Hillbillies. I really like Have a Cup of Tea. I like a lot of these tracks. And Exile on Main Street, I really like Sweet Virginia. I really like Let It Loose, I should say. I think I really like Shine a Light. That song's epic. I'm going to go with Exile on Main Street. I really like Muswell Hillbillies. I know that album's starting to get a big reputation in the music community amongst Kink fans, and I'm glad it is, but I'm going to slightly go over for Exile, just slightly. Everybody's in Showbiz versus Goat's Head Soup. So I'm not going to talk about the live portion of Everybody's in Showbiz. I'm just going to talk about the studio end. So, both have 10 tracks. Both were released somewhat around the same time. Like, one was 72, I believe. One was 73. I'm going to go with Everybody's in Showbiz, actually. Because Everybody's in Showbiz, I like every track on the album. Goat's Head Soup, I do like a lot of the tracks. I would say I want to have the Stones beat the Kinks on this one. However, there is a song at the end of Goat's Head Soup that is so bad that the Kinks win automatically, and that is called Star Star. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. Now these next three battles are going to be very easy. Preservation Act 1 versus It's Only Rock and Roll, Stones. Preservation Act 2 versus Black and Blue. I'm not the biggest fan of Black and Blue, but even Cheerio Baby is way better than Flash's Dream. But plus, I really like a lot of other tracks like Hey Negrita, Hot Stuff, Hand of Fate, Memory Motel, Fool to Cry. There's just so many other great songs on the album. So, yeah, Stones on that one. Soap Opera versus Some Girls. Another easy battle. I'm going to go with the Stones. So many easy battles for the Stones on this one now. Okay, now we get into a tricky one. Schoolboys in Disgrace versus Emotional Rescue. It's tricky because I really like, one, I really like these albums, and two, I find these to be both extremely underrated albums from each band. Great album from both bands, not gonna lie. I really like both. I feel like there's no obvious answer because both of these albums are both underrated. Like both of these albums are not seen very highly of. I really like School Days. I like Dance. Emotional Rescue. I'm gonna say it now. I love the title track, Emotional Rescue. I like Indian Girl. Where the boys go. I love that song. She's So Cold. These are just high quality Stones tracks for me. Schoolboys in Disgrace, like School Days are great. I'm in Disgrace, The Hard Way. No, it's just really tricky. I'm gonna go with the Stones again. Sleepwalker versus Tattoo You. Yet another tricky choice. Yet another high caliber album versus yet another high caliber album. Me and Jason just reviewed that album yesterday. It's me. That was the first time me and Jason agreed on a 10 out of 10. If you didn't, spoiler alert. But yeah, this is a great album. Wow, really digging it. Start Me Up. I do prefer Life on the Road over Start Me Up, probably because I've heard Start Me Up a gajillion times. Man, I love Sleepwalker. I love Jukebox Music. Life Goes On. Brother. These songs are all amazing. And then Tattoo You, Hang Fire, Little TNA, Waiting on a Friend, I should say. This is no tricky choice by any means. I know a lot of music fans would say, like, oh, pick Tattoo You. That's an easy choice. But oh man, I'm going with the Kinks on this one. I'm going with the Kinks. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm going with the Kinks. Okay, now we're going to an easy choice. Misfits versus Undercover. Go with Misfits. It's an easy choice because Misfits is like a flawless album. Undercover has plenty of flaws. Low Budget versus Dirty Work. Yet again, Low Budget is to me a flawless album. Meanwhile, Dirty Work, I don't really care for Dirty Work that much. Give the People What They Want versus Steel Wheels. Again, I'm going to go with Give the People What They Want. Not really much of a easy choice. Not really much of a hard choice, I should say. State of Confusion versus Voodoo Lounge. This album, this is going to be a tricky choice. I love Blinded by Rainbows. Really like Come Dancing. I'll go with the Kinks again. Just barely, though. Word of Mouth versus Bridge to Babylon. I'm going to go with the Kinks on that because Do It Again is the best song out of all of them. Because I'm going to be honest, Word of Mouth and Bridges to Babylon are both mediocre albums. But I'll give the Kinks the edge because I think I really like Do It Again. That's a great song. Think Visual versus A Bigger Bang. Man, we're starting to get some mediocrity. I don't like, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of either of these albums. If I had to pick one, probably the Kinks. Actually, no, I'll go with the Stones. Just slightly. UK Jive versus Blue and Lonesome. This is the easy choice. Yeah, I'm going with UK Jive. I don't like either of these albums, but man, I'd rather listen to an album that doesn't revolve around all blues covers, to be honest. Okay, now the last battle is even easier. Phobia versus Hackney Diamonds. Phobia is this overly long punk-ish album that closes out their discography, and it's really fucking bad. It's their worst album. It's either their worst album or their second worst album. It's so long and it's so bloated. Hackney Diamonds, arguably one of their better albums. I'm going with the Stones. Okay, so that concludes my track versus track. Let's see who won. So the Kinks got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the Stones got 10, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they got 10. So overall, I'm gonna lean with the Kinks on this one. I do prefer the Kinks. I always say this. I've always been slightly lenient towards the Kinks. I will say the Kinks have done worse than the Stones. Most specifically, if you're asking me, Phobia and Preservation Act 2, those are easily their worst albums by the Kinks. I don't think the Stones ever got that bad. I think they've had some lows. They've had their lows. Like Blue and Lonesome isn't good. That's awful. But if I'm going by the Kinks' lowest, it's not nearly as bad as the Stones' lowest. But overall, the Kinks have won. Yes. Nice. But if you like this video, leave a comment, leave a like and a comment. Let me know how you would rank, how you would battle these. I think the only person in my friend group that would eventually be able to do this is Jason, because no one else is going through the Kinks album. So for my guess, I would assume Jason prefers the Kinks over the Stones, but I could be wrong. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. So long.